Hey guys, Greg Alexander. Today I got a special treat for you. I'm going to do a comprehensive coverage on summertime tidal water, how to approach it, what the lures are you should be using, the things you need to be looking for, how you're going to catch more fish, how you're going to catch bigger fish, how you're going to beat your competition if you're in the competition. So stick with me through this video because all through it I'm going to have little tidbits of information that you might not be getting anywhere else, because people hold back on you on YouTube. They'll hold back on you and not tell you the truth. So you're going to get the truth today about this stuff. Now, if you're just coming to my channel for the first time, I'd ask you please subscribe to my channel. Help me grow my channel. It'll help you and it'll help me. Also, if you've been watching me for a while, I would ask you to please share my videos with your friends, your any type of social media platform you may be on. It'll be appreciated. It'll help me grow my channel. It will encourage me to continue to make more videos if I get good feedback. So let's get right into it. I've done several videos in the past on tidal water patterns, pre-spawn, post-spawn, winter. I haven't done a summer one yet, so we're going to get into a summer one today. So I don't have any prepared notes or anything for this particular video, so I'm just going to be kind of speaking off of the cuff here. So I get a lot of questions about, man, what are the best lures for rivers, or what's the what should I be throwing, and what colors are best, and all these. And you know, that's kind of a loaded question because every river is different. You know, we got 4 or 5 rivers around here and they're completely different. One lure that works on one river is not going to work as good on another river. One color that works on one river is not going to work as good on another river. See, because you have clear grassy rivers, you got muddy rivers, you got tannic rivers, you got high flow rivers, you got low flow rivers, you got big flat rivers, you got no flat rivers with just steep banks. So you can't, you know, I can't even like make a video like the top 3 lures for tidal rivers, because it's different for every river. So it would have to be, for this river, this is what you need to throw. For this river, and you know, that could go on forever and ever. So we can't really do that. So I'm gonna give you a big overall presentation about all the lures that work on tidal rivers and why. So let's get right into it. Let's start first in the summertime. Probably the most thrown lure on tidal rivers in the summertime is a stickworm. Now, I just did a video on stickworms and, you know, the intricacies of them. But a stickworm, you know, dark colors, dark days, light colors, light days. Rig it assortment of different ways, from Texas rig weedless to wacky rig weedless to wacky rig not weedless to Nico rig with a weight in the head to Texas rig with a bullet weight, light bullet weight for skating action, Texas rig to a heavy bullet weight for penetrating grass or slop or things like that. So a Senko, always have one tied on in a tidal river. Now let me say this. In tidal rivers, unlike lakes, reservoirs, and even ponds, the fish are always going to feed shallow. Even in the heat of summer, they're always going to feed shallow. Most of the time, you're going to catch these fish in 2 to 5 feet of water, even if it's 100 degrees out. Obviously, you're going to find some shade or something if it's 100 degrees out. So, as summer starts, you know, the fish have come off the spawn. The water's now 75 to 80. I like to say 80 degrees and stable would be the beginning of summer river fishing techniques. They go in a little bit of a funk for a period of time after the spawn, a week or two, and it's different on different rivers. You can go to one river and June 15th they're not biting, but you go to another river and they've been done spawning 2 weeks longer than that river, so they're ready, and they're ready to go. So anyhow, that being said, now they're ready to go. In rivers, you're going to fish shallow, generally 2 to 5 feet, maybe as deep as 8 feet, in these tidal rivers, and you're going to throw generally smaller baits than you would throw on a lake or a reservoir or even a pond in the summertime. River fish tend to feed on smaller bait. There's a lot of bullhead minnows, there's a lot of small crawfish, there's a lot of small bait fish, not a lot of big bait fish, and the bait fish that are big that time of year are pelagic. They're out in the middle of the river, like the white perch and the yellow perch, and they don't inhabit the same domain as the bass, who's going to use the banks generally in a river. So we talked about a Senko. Another bait you're going to want to throw in the summertime is a small jig. Now, they'll eat a big jig, sure they will. They'll eat a big jig, but day in and day out on a river, a bass's attitude towards a jig is that he likes the smaller jig with a smaller trailer. I mean, you can throw an assortment of trailers on here. You can throw an assortment of colors. Don't get hung up on this is the best color or this is the best trailer. Just continue to test everything out. But green pumpkinish, brown for clearish to slightly stained water, moving towards black, black and blue, and darker water, you can't go wrong. Then we have creature baits. Always have a creature bait tied on. Always have a creature bait tied on in tidal water. This is a Z-hog. This is a Z-hog. Beavers, D-bombs, pretty much, you know, crispy critters, and any type of creature bait is going to catch bass in the river. Generally the smaller ones, not the great big ones. The smaller ones will get you a lot more bites. The big ones will catch them too. Always have one tied on, Texas rig, with generally, you know, 1/4 to 3/8 ounce of weight. Not much more than that unless you need to punch something heavy. Then you're going to want to have some type of small swim bait. 4-inch-ish is better. 5's getting a little big for a tidal river. Any type of, this is like a perch color with a green back and a white belly, or any type of white or shad color, or chartreuse and blue in dirty water situation. You can rig that on a regular jig head, like a weedless jig head. If you're throwing in the cover, you can rig it Texas rig, you can rig it open hook, but most tidal rivers, open hook situation is not going to serve you well because where the bass live is too snaggy. Let's get into moving baits. Some type of square bill. Right, this is a 1.5 square bill. You're going to throw this around cover. I've talked about it in some of my other videos. I cut the front hook off, the front hook of the 3, when I'm throwing this around a bunch of trees and stuff, because I can come through there 4-wheel driving it basically, and I've never noticed much of a difference in whether or not I hook up or not with that front hook cut off. This is chartreuse black back. This is for dirtier water situations, and just modify your colors based on the conditions, right? If you got clear water, you're going to want a realistic looking type square bill, a realistic looking type crankbait, unless you're fishing, you know, deeper towards that 8-foot range, which will be the deepest range in the river. Then you're going to want to stay with the brighter colors because you lose your light, so you need that brighter color. Then you're going to want some type of medium diving crankbait that gets you in that 6 to 8 foot range. This is a DT6 and chartreuse blueback. You can use this crankbait when the square bill's not getting deep enough, 3 to 5. This is a 6-footer DT6, or any type of like standard size wiggle wart, or a Bandit 200 gets you in that 8-foot range where you can get it down to where the fish may be at their maximum depth in the summertime. And then on days where the fish are really active, you see a lot of bullhead minnows swimming around, you see a lot of bait activity on the surface, perch busting around, then you're going to want to throw your more active baits like a chatterbait, right? This is white. You can throw chartreuse and white. Dark days, you can throw black and blue. You can throw a perch color or something with some green pumpkin chartreuse in it. Mix it up. And then on the days where they're chasing and it's cloudy and windy, or you're really throwing in heavier cover where that chatterbait is just causing you trouble hanging up too much, then you're going to want to throw some type of spinnerbait. Now this is a smallish spinnerbait. This is a War Eagle. This is a 1/2 ounce because it has that weighted hook shank on it, but it's a small bodied spinnerbait. And what I like about the War Eagle 1/2 ounce is it looks like a 1/4 ounce spinnerbait, but you can fish it like a 1/2 ounce. You can slow roll it and get it down deeper, or you can just speed it up and fish it shallower. And again, don't get too hung up on the colors. Something whitish, clear water, something chartreusey in the dirtier water. And then we get to those days where they're biting on top. Always have a buzz bait ready on a tidal river, early in the morning, late in the evening, cloudy days, around lily pads or any old type of structure. They'll eat this, white or black. That's really all you need, white or black. You don't need 17 different colors of buzz bait to throw. I throw where my general rule is light colors, light days, dark colors, dark days. With a buzz bait or a frog, that's different. Dark days, I like a white. Light days, I like a black, because you get the contrast. That the fish seem to be able to find that easier when it's on the surface. So buzz bait. And then when it won't hit a buzz bait, but you know they're shallow, like up around shaded cover or shallow lily pads, then I'm going to throw some type of frog. Again, white dark days, black light days for topwater frog. So hold tight now, I'm not done. I'm getting to the end of the lures, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about some things. So stay with me here. That series of lures right there, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different lures, are something that I'm gonna have them or some form of them tied on every single time I go fishing in the summertime on a tidal river, whether it's a cypress river, a mud river, a grass river, or a blow down bank river. Some sort of, I'm gonna have tied on every single one of them in some form or another. And now you're gonna change it, you know. On a tannic river with a lot of cypress trees, then you're dealing with a majority of a crawfish population in that river. So then you're going to want to be thinking in terms of crawfish size, crawfish color, crawfish action, bottom bumping type baits, tight to structure. That's what you're going to be thinking. Okay, you get on these open mud rivers and you're going to be thinking more schooling type bait fish, bullhead minnows, white perch, yellow perch. Menhaden some years come up the river, some years they don't. And you're going to want to be thinking more about, okay, where are these types of fish going to be concentrated? You know, they're going to be concentrated around any type of creek, slough drain, ditch drain, funnel point, eddy, or in low flow rivers, high flow areas. See, because you got low flow rivers and you got high flow rivers. In high flow rivers, it's never an issue finding a spot where the fish can get out of the current because it becomes obvious with your eyes. But in a low flow river, you want to find, in the summertime, you want to find the areas that have the highest current. And that's where your fish are going to go to. I mean, that's where they're going to go to every time. Now with what I call a blowdown river, a river that's narrow and windy and pretty much the basic cover is trees and blowdowns, then you're going to be fishing. Obviously, you're not going to be throwing regular crankbaits in that type of situation. And you might not even be throwing buzz baits because you can't reel it through the branches. But you can throw, you know, that frog, or you can flip anything you want. So you got to be thinking about that. So the 4 types of rivers that we're dealing with: cypress rivers, industrial rivers, low flow, flat rivers, high flow, narrow rivers. They're all different. The fish respond to different things because of the cover that they use. So you'll never go wrong in a tidal river in the summertime if you follow these basic rules. I'm throwing something on top around some type of visible structure in the morning, in the evenings, or on cloudy days first. Buzzbait, frog, popper first. When the sun comes out, river bass are always going to be shallow. They're always going to use shade. So you're always looking for shade. In a low flow river, you're always going to look for current. And if you mix current and shade together, you got something. On creek rivers, or rivers that have a lot of creeks in the summertime, a majority of your fish are going to be somewhere around that creek. In the mouth, just outside the mouth, or in the creek, or some ditch or drain coming down through the lily pads or through the swamp even. That's what they're going to use. Or if they don't have those things available, if there's some backwater that holds water all day long, even at low tide, and it's shaded, you can be assured that those fish will be there. So just think about you. If it was summertime and you were hot, where would you go? You'd look for the shade and the coolest spot available to you that gave you the most comfort. And if there was beer there, that would be even better, right? So I say beer because I'm just talking about something for them to eat, basically. If there's beer and hot dogs there and shade and comfort, you're going to be there. That's the same way with the bass. He's going to be where the food and the comfort is. And in a tidal river in the summertime, that's all you need to do is examine these things I'm talking about. It'll make you a better fisherman. So I hope these tips helped you. I know it's a little bit scattered. This video was a little bit scattered. I'm sorry for that. I didn't really prepare a lot of notes. I just thought I would do it off the cuff. But the information is solid. And if you take these lures and you take these different river styles and you apply this information, you will be a better fisherman. Thanks for watching, and have a blessed day.